What's up, everyone? Today I want to talk to you guys about how to generate luxury listings. Everybody wants that sexy $1 million listing, and a lot of agents always reach out to me and ask, how can I generate my first $1 million listings, or how do I break into the luxury space? For those who don't know my story, know that within the first 4 months of me being a licensed real estate agent, I got a $15 million listing. $15 million listing. It was the most expensive listing in my city, and I've continued since that day over the course of my real estate career to generate a lot of luxury business, even though I was a brand new agent. So in this video, I want to share with you guys how to generate luxury real estate listings and leads using Facebook ads. What's up, everyone? My name is Mike Sherrard. Thank you so much for tuning into my channel as always. And if you're new, welcome. If you love learning tips, tricks, and secrets about social media, online lead generation, personal branding, and everything else real estate related, please make sure you subscribe and lightly tap that notification bell, because I do give away some exciting stuff and I love when you guys stay engaged with my content. So if you do get value from this video, all that I ask in return is to give it a little thumbs up. I drop multiple videos every single week for you, and I love when you keep me inspired to continue to do so. So without further ado, as mentioned in the introduction, I want to share with you in this video a step-by-step process of exactly how to generate luxury real estate leads and $1 million listings using Facebook ads. Now, if you haven't seen my other video, I'm going to link it below, because unfortunately, Facebook's algorithm is changing and Facebook's targeting criteria is changing. You've probably seen Facebook in the news and know that last year they've been in the news for some not so good reasons because of privacy rules. And a lot of these privacy rules actually affected their targeting abilities in terms of the housing market and the real estate space. A lot of people didn't like the fact that last year you were able to target based on income. If you want to know more about those changes, again, check my video out below. But essentially what happened is last year you were able to target people based on their income. So you could target people who made, $500,000 a year or more. You could also target people based on their liquid assets. Maybe they had $3 million in liquid assets, also likely to move. So you could target people who were guaranteed based on Facebook's algorithm to be worth over $1 million. And you could target people who were more likely to be affording those $1 million listings. Today, I'm going to show you how you can do it in 2019. I'm going to show you the exact strategy. So let's go ahead, and without further ado, I'm going to show you a step-by-step process on how you can create a Facebook ad to target luxury listings. So as you can see here on my screen, I've got up Facebook advertising. So this is Facebook's ads manager, and this is where you're going to land every single time that you're creating a new Facebook ad. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Now, there's a couple different options here, and it heavily depends on if you've got a third-party lead generation system or if you're just driving traffic to your own listing. So what I'm going to show you how to do is I'm going to show you how to do a lead generation ad the exact same way that I would personally do it. So we're going to come down here and you can see the different marketing objectives, okay? So you have things like traffic, which is send more people to a destination on or off Facebook, such as a website, app, or messenger conversation. Now, if you do have lead capture on your website, because for me at Redline Real Estate, the brokerage I'm at, we have a partnership with Boomtown. So when we send people to our website for listings, it has a built-in lead capture system. But if you don't have a lead capture system built into your website, you need to come down and use lead generation. So drive more sales leads, such as email addresses from people interested in your brand or business. So we're going to show you how to do it via lead generation. But again, if you do have a website that has lead capture built into it, go ahead and use traffic, because Traffic allows you to target people on Instagram. It allows you to target people on so many different other placements, whereas lead generation is a bit more limited. So I typically segment it just to the placement of Facebook feed. So let's go ahead and create a lead generation ad. So we'll come down here, lead generation, and we come down and name it. So we can just say, luxury lead generation ad. Now, split testing is very important if you are getting into Facebook ads. If you haven't used Facebook ads before, it's exceptionally important to understand how to split test your ads, because unfortunately what happens is if you don't split test your ads, you're going to be spending a lot of budget on people who are just simply not going to engage with your content. You want to maximize your ad spend and your cost per click. So split testing and understanding how to create different ad sets is going to be the key to success in terms of maximizing your budget. If you do want to know how to split test your ads and how to create multiple ad sets in order to get the best results possible, comment below and I'm going to send you my step-by-step process on what to do from day one when you run your very first Facebook ad all the way up to the point where you've created warm audiences, you've identified the perfect audience so that you can start getting the best results from your Facebook ads. So as mentioned, comment below, let me know how stoked you are to start Facebook ads, and I will send you, only those who are watching this video and commenting, my document for free, how to start using Facebook ads effectively. So let's go ahead and continue. We've got mom texting us over there. Sorry, guys. So we're going to come down here and we're going to go ahead and we're going to select our Facebook page. So I'm going to select my real estate page, which you can come down here and see this, Mike Sherrard, redlinerealestate.com. So now it comes down to here, okay? So this is where the wizardry happens. We're going to go ahead and select, the majority of you I know are in the United States. So we're going to select United States. Actually, what we're going to do is we'll just use a city, for example. We're going to use maybe Chicago. And we're going to niche this down a bit. Maybe all the way to 10 miles, okay? So now we're looking at Chicago. You can see the potential reach is 3.2 million people. You can see that, the reach on average is going to be almost 700 per day to 2,000 per day with 6 to 22 leads. Now, this is where things start to get important for those who are looking to generate luxury listings. We need to adjust the age because while there are rare cases where you've got these 18-year-old millionaires, it's just simply not the majority. So we want to make sure that we're targeting the majority. Typically people who are 30 years old and older are the ones that are going to be buying these $1 million listings. I even like to cap it off at 60 because usually people who are over 60 years old are no longer buying new homes. It does happen, but again, we want to make sure that we're getting the best results possible. So we want to limit the minorities, which would be those who are younger than 30 because it's rare cases that they're millionaires. We want to eliminate people that are over 60 because generally they've settled into a home and they're not actively looking to move after they've reached that age. So genders, we're going to leave that alone. Now, detailed targeting. This is where we start to do some wizardry tricks. Now, you don't want to get too targeted, but you do want to be able to target based on demographics and financial. So this is what you do. When you come down here, you click browse and you click demographics and then you go to financial and income. So you can see here, household income, top 10% of zip codes in the US. Household income, top 10 to 25% of the US. Top 25 to 50% of zip codes in the US, and the top 5%, okay? So what you want to do, you can see here when you hover over top 5%, description is people who live in the top 5% of zip codes by average household income based on publicly available information. So what you want to do is select this one here, is the top 5% of zip codes in the US. So this is going to target people who are making the top 5% amount of money in the US. Sorry, guys. So now what you want to do is you can see that the reach has significantly decreased. Now, it says 0 leads, but that's not reality. You are going to get leads. It's just that because the potential reach is much smaller, because you're segmenting it down, you're not going to get a huge bulk of leads. But that's what you want. You want less leads, but you want to be more targeted because you're trying to break in to a niche market, which is the luxury real estate space. So what you're going to do is now you can see the potential reach went from millions down to 110,000 people. Now we're going to come down here and you can see edit placements. You can either leave it as automatic placements, so use automatic placements to maximize your budget and help show your ads to more people. Facebook's delivery system will allocate your ads budget across multiple placements based on what they're likely to perform best. Now, this is good when you're getting started, but as you start to understand Facebook ads, you know that they're in the business of making money. Facebook just wants to make the most amount of money from you spending money on their advertising. So if you just use automatic placements, basically what's going to happen is they're going to spread themselves pretty thin. They're going to use your budget to the fullest, but that doesn't mean it's going to be as targeted as it could be. So what I like to do is come down here and click edit placements, and I like to optimize this, which largely just means you're going to be using the Facebook feed. So I come down here and I uncheck all of this stuff. And all that I'm left with is Facebook newsfeed, both on mobile and on desktop. So this is what I find gets me the best results and maximizes my ad spend. So what we're going to come down here is, with your daily budget, usually we want to start about $10 a day. You don't need to go too much further than that, but you do want to have a substantial budget, at least when you're getting niche targeting. Now, when you're just getting started and you're doing general lead generation and you're not specifically targeting luxury listings, it's okay to spend $5 a day, test your ads, as I mentioned in the free document that I can give you guys if you comment below. But when you're getting more targeted, as you can see, because the reach is less, you do need to spend a little bit more. So I like to start and end date. If you just leave it as run my ad continuously starting today, it will run your ad continuously starting today until you stop it. And what I've seen time and time again is that people forget about their ad and then they're running the same ad that's not performing properly for months. I actually met with a client the other day who was in the medical space and he didn't know how to use Facebook ads and he was running ads and he was spending $1,000 a day on the worst ad I've ever seen, and he forgot about it. So for 10 days, he was running this crap ad that was getting no results because the image had nothing to do with his business. The copy had no call to action, and he spent like $10,000 in 10 days. So I like to run it with a start and end date in mind. So today I would maybe start it at maybe noon p.m. and then I would run it for maybe a couple weeks. So we can just say, we're going to end it here at 11 p.m. So now you can see that your ad will run for 13 days. You'll spend no more than $134.58. We're going to click continue. So now this is where you start to create your ad. As you can see over here, this is what's called an ad set. We initially set up our campaign objective, our marketing objective, which we chose lead generation. Again, if you do have the luxury, for lack of a better term, to have a third-party lead generation system built into your website, use traffic because the results are actually going to be better. Traffic shows it to more people, it's cheaper to use, but if you are just getting started, unfortunately you have to use the built-in lead generation app here in Facebook. The next part is the ad set. And as I'm going to show you in the free document that I can send you if you comment below, ad sets are important to test. When I get started with a new marketing campaign, I like to do 4 different ad sets times 4 different ads. So I've actually got 16 ads running at once, and then I start to filter out by which ones are performing the best. Now, examples of ad sets could be men between the ages of 25 and 45 or 25 and 35 living in a certain area who are interested in one specific targeting criteria, which could be Zillow or Realtor.com if you're doing general lead generation. The next ad set could be something like women in a different age group in the same interests. So what you can do in that sense is start to identify which audience is resonating most with your content, and then you can filter out the ones that are not engaging and start focusing all of your budget on the ones that are engaging. So we're going to come down here, and now we have our ad. Now, we're not going to have an Instagram placement because we didn't choose Instagram as a placement, because in the luxury space, it just doesn't convert as well. So we're going to come back here and we're going to choose a single image. Now, this is where you want to choose an image that relates to luxury real estate. So we're going to come down here and we're going to browse and upload an image. So what we'll do is we'll just choose an image that I have on my desktop, which would be, something like this guy down here. This is my $15 million listing that I had. And you'll see that it'll populate and start giving us an example as to what that's going to look like when we start to run our ad. So you can see here it's populated, and when you come down to the mobile news feed, it's going to give us an example of what this looks like. Now, there's a couple different options when it comes to the ad. The couple that I like to use are the following. One, I like to use a seller's guide. I have a full branded document that shows people how to sell their home for more money in less time using my creative marketing strategies. So if you have one of these, this is a fantastic tool, because what you can do is something like this. How to sell for more money in less time. Okay, so this is going to populate, and you can see here. And in the primary text, I would say something like, find out how we are selling $1 million homes for more money in less time using creative, industry leading marketing techniques. And then usually what I do is I come up here and I have some sort of call to action, okay? So what I would do is, I'd have a free home seller's guide. And I like to brand it with the city because that means it's more targeted. So I would say free home seller's guide in Chicago or wherever we decide to be. Okay, so I'd say click below to download your free home seller's guide. And maybe put a little emoji down here pointing below. And there you have it. So I would use something like this, and then I would generate a lead by sending them my free home seller's guide, and then they would need to give me their information in return so that I could follow up. Now, if you're looking for buyers, what I would do is give people a list of homes that are in this price range, okay? So let me go down here and I'll show you what you need to do in terms of a form. So we'll just go ahead and leave this and we'll say, luxury listing sellers leads. We leave the form type on more volume. You have two different options here. So you have use a form that's quick to fill out and submit on mobile device. That's what I want. You have higher intent where they can qualify people with more opportunities, but I like to use more volume because we just simply want the most amount of leads. Now, I usually get rid of the intro, and then we have our questions here. So I like to say the following. Let me know where I should send the free home seller's guide. Name, email, and then the last thing we want, because I consider a lead, a name, email, phone number. Those three criterias, that's what I consider a lead, because that way you can follow up with them in multiple things. So come up here. So basically what you do is you have add new question, contact fields, phone number. And now it will auto-populate their phone number, their name, and their email based on what they have in Facebook. Now, you have to come down and include a privacy policy. Again, every website does have one, whether it's your own website or whether it's a brokerage website. And you need to have a thank you screen. So what I do is, thank you. Check your email shortly for the free guide. I will be sending you my free home seller's guide, and reaching out to see if you have any questions So this is where you're going to put the link. So what link are you going to put here? Because they're giving you your phone number and email and their name, you can reach out to them. Now, as I'm going to show you in some of my future videos, I use automated ManyChat bots where I can include a link here that's going to open up the conversation in Facebook Messenger. And this is where they're going to have a free download, but also now they get added into my CRM for Facebook Messenger. Now, when you're just getting started, that does become a bit more involved per se, because it does require a few extra steps. So I will show you how to do this in a separate video. So make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss that, because when I start getting into my ManyChat videos, that's when I'm going to show you guys how to get astronomically amazing online lead generation examples. But go ahead and just put the link to luxury listings in your space. So if you're in Chicago, just go ahead and filter your website or your brokerage's website or whatever by homes that are over $1 million. So people can start browsing them, and in the meantime, you can send them your seller's guide. Now, one thing that I'm going to show you, because this doesn't actually apply to Canada, because unfortunately, as I showed you in the other video that I mentioned earlier in this tutorial, you don't have the ability to target people based on income if you're in Canada. So what do you do instead? Instead, it comes down to you knowing your market. So as we came up here and we just targeted Chicago, what I want to do is I want to show you how to do it in Canada quickly. It's only going to take a couple seconds here, but you need to understand how to do this if you are in Canada. We'll use my city, for example. So here's my city. There's we're going to get rid of some of this targeting because it just doesn't apply up here. But you can see that between the ages of 30 and 60, there's 570,000 people, okay? What you need to do if you're in Canada and you want to generate luxury listings is go through this same process, but instead of targeting people based on income, you have to come down here and target people based on community, because there's specific communities in every single city that we know as real estate agents that has the majority of the luxury listings. So what you need to do is go through the same process, but instead of just choosing the whole city and targeting people based on household income percentage, you need to target based on communities. So you can come down here and you can see that there's some communities over here like Aspen Woods, like Springbank and West Springs. This is one of the luxury areas. So if you're in Canada, you need to drop pins where the luxury communities are, because we just simply, unfortunately, don't have the same targeting capabilities. So go ahead and you can start selecting the different communities. Maybe, there's another couple that are down here, so you might want to select a pin here and come down and segment it down a little bit. So you can start to choose the different communities that are in the luxury space, and this is going to help you create luxury targeting ads that aren't specific to household incomes, because we just don't have the targeting abilities up here. So there you have it, guys. That's how you can target effectively luxury listings and $1 million listings using Facebook ads, and how to get the best results with your lead generation. If you do have any more questions about what to write in the ad, because again, I just whipped that up quickly, but I do have high performing ad templates that I can show you, just comment below and let me know what you're looking for, and I will gladly send it to you. Also, I'm going to show you in my next video the #1 way to target luxury listings using online lead generation that nobody is showing you. So make sure you subscribe, and I will show you that video upcoming soon. Thank you so much for tuning in as always, and we will see you in the next video.